Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Well, it's gone from bad to worse on the opponent front for rising prospect Filip Hrgovic, who's currently 10-0, with his opponent Andres Parla pulling out of his run-out fight in Denmark this weekend, being replaced with Greece's Alexandre Kartozia, who has a record of 8-1-1. But maybe more importantly, the headline is he's the world's number 646. So this is a dreadful opponent, even more so dreadful than the fight that had been lined up previously with Andres Parla, who was a guy who'd been out of the ring, the pro ring at least, for 6 years. So there is a press release with this change of opponent. See here. So Hrgovic is appearing on a Team Sauerland card. So this is going to be in Denmark this weekend. Hrgovic is just featuring on the card. He's not the main event or anything like that. But this press release saying that Hrgovic has a new opponent on Saturday night, as he'll now face off against Greece's Alexandre Kartozia at the Struer Energy Park in Denmark, who has replaced Andres Parla. Following a short notice withdrawal from Parla with no time to spare, Team Sauerland are delighted to confirm that the heavy-handed Kartozia has accepted the fight and will arrive in Denmark shortly. Kartozia will be fighting for the second time this year, having secured a third-round knockout over Mexico's Manuel Duran at the Big Punch Arena in Tijuana on January 25th. That's one of the venues I think that Christopher Lovejoy has been fighting at. But there is some quotes here. People think he is scary because he is a good amateur career and his nickname is The Animal, said Kartozia. Well, I fear no man. He has never felt power like I have, and I hope he overlooks me, because this Saturday night I will create history and change the future. Big words indeed. And then Nissa Sauerland, Hrgovic's promoter, continues with a quote saying, obviously a short notice change of opponent is never ideal for the fighter. It is difficult enough to find opponents for Filip at the best of times, but especially during the current situation. Kartozia says he's going to fight fire with fire and that he is a true gladiator. So we are sure both men will put on a great show for the fans at Struer Energy Park Arena. Will not be disappointed. And then it goes on to mention that Hrgovic and Kartozia is the co-feature to the Dina Thorsland fight with Nina Radovanovic. Okay, so I won't go into any other details of the card because I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in this one fight. I'm still hoping to find some broadcast details. I'm sure that there will be some that pop up ahead of the fight. But this late change of opponent, I mean, it was already a dreadful tune-up to begin with. It really was. Andres Parla was not much chop. The record was bloated. It looked good, but he was a guy that really hadn't done much in the division, and he'd been retired, as a pro at least, for 6 years. But now you get this guy, the world number 646, and it's hard not to stress that because, if you've got a record of 8-1-1 and you're still the world number 646 on BoxRec, that actually shows that those 8 wins were against guys that their records and their, what they've done in the sport is so low tier that, you haven't gained many points for fighting them because BoxRec being a points ranking system. You can have someone like Filip Hrgovic, who's 10-0, for example, who's inside the world's top 15, there or thereabouts, based on the opponents that he's fought. So there is a quality divide here in terms of the opponents that both of these guys have fought. But there is just a divide in natural talent and everything. Every department, Filip Hrgovic is better. So big talk here by Greece's Alexandre Kartozia, but this is going to end early. The big words that he's going to fight fire with fire and he's never felt power like I have. I hope he overlooks him. Filip Hrgovic could overlook this guy and basically be half asleep and still get the win here. He is going to roll through this journeyman in waiting, because this is what this guy is. 8-1-1, the world number 646. It's a padded record and he's sort of capitalizing on it here for a payday. Let's be clear about what this is. This is a terrible tune-up. It's a run-out for Hrgovic. They have said that in the next couple of months before the end of the year, he's going to have another couple of fights. So this is obviously blow a bit of ring rust off, but let's not kid ourselves about what this is and how this is going to end. Probably a first-round knockout. I mean, I can't say I've actually seen any footage of Kartozia, but looking at the record and, the quality and the caliber of the opponents, I'm not expecting much at all. So, yeah, for Hrgovic, what does he get out of this? Well, nothing much, just a little bit of activity, blow the cobwebs out. He's been out of the ring, for a while now since, was it his last fight against Eric Molina? I think it may have been. So, obviously it's been a long time between drinks in terms of the fights that he's had. So they're looking to make sure that he gets 3 fights in 2020. The others, one of them's meant to be in the United States next month, and then I think they said December for the third fight of the year. So really they're just using him here for a bit of name value to help boost, no doubt, some ticket sales and interest in the Dina Thorsland card, which, Hrgovic being a world-rated heavyweight pretty much across all the sanctioning bodies now. He is sort of transitioning from being a prospect to a fringe contender. These sorts of fights don't help, but I can understand why it's happening. I guess a lot of these guys, we almost expected to give them at least one of these after the sort of the pandemic period. But, I don't like it. I mean, there's no reason he needs to be facing a guy like this or Andres Parla. He's ready for bigger and better, and it is up to his promoters to do better for him. So I'm hoping, at least with a little bit of optimism, that there's going to be some better opponents for the rest of the year. But I'm not holding out a lot of hope. But I guess for this fight, I mean, we're probably going to see a lot more of the same that we have from Hrgovic, who seemingly has fallen in love with his power in recent times, and he'll try to bang this guy out with the right hand, and it's probably going to be an early night. I would hope, though, given, Filip Hrgovic is going to be in bigger and better tests in the next year or two, that he is going to be more of that fluid boxer puncher that he was in the amateurs, because now he seems to be in love with the power and he's just a power puncher. But that style's not going to work against the best in the division. Some it might, but he is going to need to rely on his skills, and this is why I want to see him implementing the jab. He's using movement, utilizing his skills. We know he's got some silky skills, but seemingly he hasn't been using them of late. And if he's not using them, then obviously in that department he might start to get a little bit rusty. But maybe with some of the opponents he's fought, he just hasn't respected them at all and has thought, I'm not here to do overtime. But anyway, the opponent change, it's a dreadful tune-up, it's a run-out. It is what it is. I mean, I've sort of gone in and taken my pound of flesh in previous videos for Hrgovic and a number of other prospects and heavyweights in general about the level of opponents post-pandemic. But, all you can kind of do is go, okay, shake your head and move on. But what do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.